Hi, I'm Prerna Puri, and today I'm going to discuss about the United States of America, which I have chosen my topic for international political economy assignment. I'm going to start with how the United States was formed. The USA grew from a group of 13 British colonies to an independent state. The Declaration of Independence was signed on July 4, 1776. From being a group of 13 British colonies, the US has expanded to 50 states, a federal district of Washington DC, 5 major territories which are American Samoa, Guam, Northern Mariana Islands, Puerto Rico, US Virgin Island, and other minor islands. The smallest island is the Rhode Island, and the largest state by size is Alaska. As you can see behind on the flag of United States, there are 50 stars. Each star represents a state in the United States. Discussing more about the United States of America, Washington DC was made the capital of the United States in 1790 after Philadelphia. Washington has neoclassical monuments and buildings, including the iconic ones which has House of the Federal Government's 3 branches, the Capitol, White House, and Supreme Court. New York is another major hub of commerce, finance, and media. United States has the headquarters of United Nations situated in New York. It was the first formal capital of the United States after Philadelphia, being an informal capital in 1774. The United States has a current estimated population of 329 million, which makes it third most populated country in the world after China and India. It has an area of approximately 9 million square kilometer, which again makes it the third largest country based on the area size after Russia and Canada. It shares its boundaries with Canada and Mexico. English is spoken as the first language in the United States. Now we're going to discuss some of the crucial events in the history of the United States. 1920 to 1929 was the golden period of US economy. Feeling of optimism and overconfidence during the roaring 20s, and the economy was at a boom. The rise of American consumerism led to the overproduction of consumer goods that were attained as a result of easy credit schemes. The stock market boom and the long bull market led to the system of buying stocks on margin with loans from stockbrokers. The falling demand for consumer products and the unequal distribution of wealth across America became important causes of the Wall Street crash. The Wall Street crash led to the Great Depression, which shook the whole world and economy went upside down. 1941, the United States entered the World War, and as soon as the World War II got over in 1945, the US received a strong stimulus and emerged out as a powerful nation with least percentage of losses during World War II. 1947 was the period when the United States entered into Cold War with the Soviet Union. This war was due to the competition between capitalism and communism to become global dominant doctrine. 1955, the Vietnam War took place. It was a war between North Vietnam and South Vietnam. Communist countries like China, USSR supported North Vietnam, whereas capitalist nations like United States, Australia prevented the communist takeover of South Vietnam. September 11, 2001 was a black day in the history of America. The World Trade Center was attacked by an Islamic terrorist group, Al-Qaeda, which resulted into huge devastation of both lives as well as infrastructure. The United States faced a global financial crisis in 2008. It started with subprime mortgage market crisis and grew into full international banking crisis. Obama became the president in 2009 and afterwards won the elections twice in a row, serving 2 terms of presidency. Obama's first-term actions addressed the global financial crisis and included a major stimulus package, a partial extension of the Bush tax cuts, legislation to reform healthcare, a major financial regulation reform bill, and the end of a major US military presence in Iraq. Donald Trump was elected as the president in 2017. He is the 45th and current president of the United States. Before entering politics, he was a businessman and television personality. Behind you can see some of the images and glimpses of historical events of United States. The first image is the image from Wall Street crash in New York. The second image depicts the Cold War and has been taken from a television documentary series about the Cold War that aired in the year 1998. The third image is about the 9/11 attacks by the terrorist group on World Trade Center. The fourth image is about the financial crisis that happened in year 2008. And the last image shows the current president of America, Donald Trump. Now we're going to discuss about the government of the United States. It has three branches. The first one is the legislative branch, which has two bodies, Senate and House of Representatives. The Senate consists of 100 seats with 2 representatives from each of the 50 states. House of Representatives consists of 435 seats and are elected by the people from 50 states. Next is executive branch. It consists of President, who is also the head of government and chief of state. The third and the last is judicial branch. It consists of the Supreme Court. We will now discuss about the economy of the United States. It has a mixed economy and is one of the top economies in the world. Its economic system has characteristics of both capitalism and socialism. This kind of economy has a freedom in the use of capital. However, government intervenes in economic activities in order to achieve social aims. About the banking system of the United States, it has got a central banking system and it is called the Federal Reserve System. Banking Act was established in the US in New Deal era in 1931 by Franklin D. Roosevelt because of the crash of 5,000 banks during the Wall Street crash and its aftermath. Again, from 1980 till 1998, the US banking industry has experienced many merger movements. As can seen in the pyramid representation, US banking system has Board of Governors, a Federal Open Market Committee to interact with 12 Federal Reserve banks, which further has other member banks and depository institution which serves the citizens. These are the 4 major and biggest banks in the United States: JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup, Wells Fargo. And these banks have combined assets of approximately $7.9 trillion. Discussing about the GDP per capita of US, it defines a country's economic output accounting for its total number of people. It can be used as a tool to understand a country's standard of living. The bar chart shows the continuously increasing GDP per capita of the United States since 2009, which is the succeeding year of financial crisis. According to the data from International Monetary Funds, this line graph shows the GDP growth and inflation rate in United States since 1980. The US economy advanced an annualized 4.1% on quarter in the second quarter of 2018, well above an upwardly revised 2.2% expansion in the previous period and in line with market expectations. It is the strongest growth rate since the third quarter of 2014 amid higher consumer spending. US annual inflation rate stood at 2.9% in July 2018, unchanged from the previous month and slightly below market expectations of 3%. Still, inflation remained at its highest level since February 2011. Now, I'm going to conclude my presentation by quoting the summary about the United States of America. The USA is the world's foremost economic and military power with global interests and an unmatched global reach. America's gross domestic product accounts for close to a quarter of the world's total, and its military budget is reckoned to be almost as much as the rest of the world's defense spending put together. The country is also a major source of entertainment. American television, Hollywood films, jazz, blues, rock and rap music are primary ingredients in global popular culture. The United States originated in a revolution which separated it from the British Crown. The Constitution drafted in 1787 established a federal system with a division of powers, which has remained unchanged in form since its inception. Thank you.